It should be no surprise that there is a dramatic increase in male loneliness. So, where does all of this come from? I think that a lot of men today really struggle with not only finding a relationship, but also finding friends. Especially for me, I find both very difficult, especially in real life. For me, I'm from a small town, so I don't really get around much because there isn't really much to do where I'm at. Even how a lot of people will end up finding their first love in school, I found mine online and in a different country because no one in my small little town really interested me, and I already didn't have many people to choose from. And the same goes with friends. A lot of my friends in real life were starting to talk a lot less, not only because of college and them having their own things that they want to do, it's just that we are interested in different things. We have different end goals in life, and very different personalities and types of humor. Because in that friend group, I've always felt very out of place. Sure, I can get along pretty well, but it didn't really feel like me. I'm a lot more chill and laid back, and sometimes they're just way too chaotic and energetic for my liking. But on top of that, pretty childish and immature, which I really didn't like. I didn't want to feel like I was almost babysitting in a way. So for me, I knew I needed to find some new people, but it's really hard to do that. I tried to reconnect with some of my old school friends from Snapchat, but I pretty much got aired every single time. It sucks because nobody ever reaches out to me. I always have to reach out to other people, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you can probably relate to that. And I think that's really a big factor in male loneliness. Because sure, people will respond to me, but almost nobody will ever just text me out of the blue and just text me first, which I would like it if more people just texted me first instead of me feeling like I have to reach out to other people just because I'd end up looking desperate. And as well with finding relationships, online makes it way more difficult, and especially what we see with these ridiculous standards for dating. You always see these people online where they go out and they do street interviews, and you see an alarming amount of people saying how much they care about height, which for me is definitely a problem. As I am way shorter than average. Which, don't get me wrong, it isn't a massive problem because you can overcome that with other factors such as a good build or an attractive face. But a lot of things are very face value. Personalities, people say they want personality, but especially on things like dating apps, it's almost impossible to really judge someone based off of their personality from a picture. And when a picture is all you have on someone, looks almost matter entirely. Don't get me wrong, the angle, the lighting, the picture, it all matters too, but immediately off the bat, things that are just face value and surface level, such as how attractive you are, your height, your money, things like that. That's what starts to matter the most on things like that. So with the rise of dating apps, it makes it really hard for a lot of people to find anyone because an average looking person is going to get almost nothing. And as well, a lot of people that end up on those dating apps are men. There's a significantly larger amount of men on dating apps than women. So in that sense, you have a very large amount of men trying to compete for a very small percentage of women. So that's why a lot of average men get almost nothing on a lot of dating apps. And that's why a lot of people struggle. And that is another thing that really contributes to male loneliness, as it really does not help. Dating apps are horrible for mental health, and if you're already in a bad place, just don't go there. I can speak from experience. With everything being online, there's almost less of a need or really a desire to go meet people in person. If it's as easy as swiping left or right, then why should people have to go outside and talk to each other? Which in that sense, personality matters a lot more. And I think a really big factor too of male loneliness is environment. Especially for me, because my state already has almost nothing in it, and I'm in a very small town. So those two factors combined, I already don't have many people to choose from. That's why if I really want to meet anyone that's gonna share many interests that I have, I'd have to go so far out of my way to meet those kinds of people. Which sure, they're out there, but they're just really hard to find. It would be so much easier for me if I were in some kind of a big city city. Like someone in my family lives in a big city and she's able to find a lot of things to do. There's a lot of people there, and at this point, the city that she's in probably has more people than my entire state. So in that sense, it's going to be way harder for me to find anyone, because I am trying to get outside more often and at least try to interact with more people, but it does feel really weird being by myself. I don't want to be seen as that weird, creepy loner with no friends, nobody to hang out with. It just makes it really awkward, because definitely I feel like it's easier to make friends once you already have friends, which is very difficult. But there's always going to be factors that contribute to loneliness, especially in this modern world. I find it really ironic how we have things such as social media and the internet to try and connect all of us, but if anything, it might have just divided us further. You get to meet people that have the same interests as you, but they're very far away, so that's why they remain as online friends. So there's a very good reason why my best friends are all online and not in person. Another thing for me too that I made very clear in my channel is that I do online college, which already makes it way more difficult to have any sort of social interactions. When you do your college online, that means you have to work so much harder to maintain any sort of social interactions. When most people can go outside and just talk to people on their campus, I don't really have that unless I go out of my way to be a weirdo that just talks to people on campuses, which because of my age, it doesn't really make it weird, but it's just that I don't go to that school, so it's kind of an odd thing to just be going to campuses specifically to just meet random people and talk to them. I don't know, I just see that as kind of weird. Especially because if you're socially awkward at first, you're just going to be seen as that one weirdo that comes on the campus to talk to people, and it makes everyone uncomfortable. Eventually, I feel like I will find some people, especially at my workplace. There's a lot more people that are closer to my age, so that helps a lot. But to find people that are truly interested in what I'm into, I might even need to seek online for that and just see if there's anyone nearby, which is always another option. Because as male loneliness is always on the rise, there are ways to counteract it. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be hard at first, but you will need to change, but it's a change for the better. To me, male loneliness is a pretty interesting topic, and it means a lot to me because I can relate to it. And if you want to know more about this, YouTuber shoeonhead has a great video on this, and I would recommend it. So that's going to be it for this video, and until next time.